Hey guys, and welcome to Cosplay Crafts 2. For those of you just clicking on this video, basically this is a series about, me making some props and such for different cosplays, because I'm a cosplayer. And I want to share this information, with some other beginning cosplayers, as well as other people who just like to make random things, because, hey, it's fun, it's interesting, and it could help you out in the long run. Today's video is about this. This is the Super Mario Bros. Fire Flower. Well, at least one version of it. For those of you who played all the games, there are a couple different versions that they've used. This one, I just went with because, it's commonly used in the later games for sure, like on the Wii and such, so it's the good version to go with. Now this one is a bit more involved than the Dragon Balls video, but it's still a pretty basic craft to make. Basically for this, all you'll really need are pipe cleaners, some duct tape. I also used a bit of cardboard, for the leaf part here, and also the top up here, as well as some acrylic paint. Again, I believe it's cadmium light red hue, but I'll get those details confirmed whenever I actually make the top of it. But yeah, so that is all you really need for that. So basically, I'm actually going to break down the process and remake the fire flower for you guys. So let's get started. Alright guys, so sorry. Let me try that again. Alright guys, so the first part of this is you want to make, the main body of the flower, I believe stem you'd call it. Basically, you take a couple pipe cleaners, like this. Pipe cleaners I got at Michael's for about 99 cents for, I'll say like in the area of 20 to 30. For my original one, I only used 4. And I mean, that seems like a decent enough number. But anyway, you take 4, you group them together, you break out your duct tape. I went with green for this one because, plants are green, it works. And also it saves me the effort of having to paint over, the tape. Because basically, I use the tape to, keep them together. Because that's going to be very helpful to you. So, you just take a bit off, and the way I did it originally was, I put put all the pieces together, and then I taped like the bottom of this up. So just went around, just so everything sticks together, and more than one pipe cleaner is a better idea in my opinion, just because it makes it more solid. Because you do have to put cardboard and such on top of it as well. But yeah, so, and then also it's not a bad idea to, use the tape to wrap around the ends, so then you're not getting jabbed with the little ends of it. But also the way I did it was I did it in 3 parts. So, there's the bottom, I'm going to do one around the middle, just so it stays together, and then one more around the top. That way it's not coming apart like at one area and looking all bad and trashy. And basically I would suggest, working up or down from wherever you start. So if that's the bottom, do the middle section, then the top. That way you can make sure, everything's stuck together well, and stays, in a pretty consistent shape throughout the flower. Because, if you just skip the middle, it might, bend out a bit, kind of like that or something, and that can be a problem to fix. So, yeah. Just take the second, set it up right, and you'll be fine. And also, you might avoid problems like, oh hey, a little bit sticking up at the top, but whatever. That was my bad. But yeah, so again, just flip it around. If I can do this, there we go. And I know I'm gonna shorten this up a bit, just so you don't have to see every painstaking step. But you know, if you have extra tape, use a pair of scissors, cut them off. Also, really quick, you know, kids, if you're doing this, you know, have parental supervision with you, because you know, scissors and paint and such can be not the best things. You know, I mean, scissors you can cut yourself with. Paint, if you ingest it, it could be bad for you. So, you know, kids, don't do this by yourself. You know, get the good supervision of an adult, or if you're a mature adult, I'm sure you can handle pipe cleaners, tape, paint, cardboard. Alright guys, so now you have a totally wrapped up green stem. Basically, I just went over all of it with the green tape, because, you know, bright green is a bit more attractive than, like, at least in my opinion, darker, because a lot of this ended up being dark. But I wanted to have something a bit more vibrant and bright. You know, it might be more eye-catching, I don't know, because honestly, I wore this with my Luigi costume, and it wasn't as eye-catching, unfortunately. And, I don't know, I just wanted to try it out, see how it works. So anyway, I have this. Now, in my original version, you know, I taken a piece of cardboard, I cut a hole in it, and then I just slid it up the stem, you know, because in the games the flowers always have little, you know, leaves branching out to the sides. However, with this, and this is just a thought I'm trying out here, and you guys, you know, can decide for yourselves what you want to do. But basically, you know, I took some of my extra pipe cleaners, and I just, you know, set them up, tied them off on the flower here. You know, I took another 3 or 4, just quickly threw them on here, just to see how it looked, and I don't know. It looks like it has potential, in my opinion. So, basically, you know, just take them, pull them around, and then I'm going to tape them up afterwards. Like, tape them around the center part, and then towards the ends also. You know, so I mean, it looks a bit better than a piece of cardboard with, like, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but some of my paint's, like, kind of run through and such. So, yeah. So, anyway, do that. Take a bit more tape. Run it around here. So, and yeah, so again, I don't know. It's a matter of personal opinion on what you want to do with the fire flower. Me, like I said, I'm just trying this out, because honestly, a lot of these crafts are going to be just me trying out things. You know, whether it's the first time I'm making it, or if it's like the 3rd or 4th time I'm making something, I'm going to try new and different things. Maybe be a bit more eye-catching. And then again, also, like earlier, I'm going to tape off the ends, just so, you know, I don't have, like, little bits poking and prodding at people. You know, if they're like, oh, hey, can I see that flower? You know, can I touch it? You know, like, how did you do it and such? Because that could be problematic. So, yeah. So, tie a little end there. And tie an end there. Alright, and there's the newer version of the fire flower. You know, the little leaves off to the side. Admittedly, honestly, I'm not liking it as much as this. But again, this is just a, hey, here's another idea. You know, this is a bit wider, looks a bit more sturdy, more apparent. There's the, you know, just more apparent than the other than this. And lastly, we just have to make a headpiece. Alright guys, and like I said a minute ago, for the headpiece, basically I took cardboard and I actually put it around a piece of blue camping foam. You'll find that stuff in the sporting goods section. I believe it's, I can't remember the exact measurements for it, but it's like, I want to say 2 or 3 feet, like, wide by about 10 to 15 feet tall for like, in the area of $10. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like that. Anyway, for the headpiece, you just take 2 pieces of cardboard, cut them out. Here's my original player flower for reference. Basically, across is about 6 inches, and width is about 4.5-ish inches, just for reference. So I've got myself a little cardboard square, and then I just put markings on here. Kind of round off the corners because that's how the flowers look. So just do something so that you'll know how to cut it. I don't know. It's not an exact science, but it's something. Alright. Anyway, I just made quick markings so I know where to cut it to make it rounded. Of course, you'll need 2 of these. Maybe, yeah, 2. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. Wow, I just used. Okay, in my original, I used 1 cardboard piece behind the foam piece. But I'm thinking for this next version, for like ease of painting and such, I'm gonna try, 2 cardboards sandwiching over the foam. See how well that works. So you guys will get to see that version. So anyway, give me a minute to cut this, get my foam, cut another piece. We'll be good to go. Alright guys, so like I said off screen, I cut up the pieces. So here's 2 cardboard pieces and a piece of camping foam. Now before you put everything together really quick, it's important that for the bottom cardboard piece, whichever one you want, you poke a little hole in the middle. Now again, if you do this, kids, and of course adults, be safe about it. So what I'm going to do is, take my knife, just poke a little hole through, and just cut a little circular piece. That way I can easily slide, if I can get it, there we go, okay, it's coming, there we go. That way, you can put the headpiece on there and make sure it fits. You can do the same thing, with the other 2 pieces as well. Well, actually, you'll just want to do it with the middle piece also, because if you do it through all 3, then it's gonna slide in and out, and that's not as nice looking. There we go. But yeah, there we go. Bam. So we got 2 pieces, pre-attached, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the 3rd piece on top and then just tape everything together, so that the 2 pieces hold the pipe cleaner in, because see, I'm pulling on the bottom right here, it's not moving, which is important, because again, if you keep it loose, then it's going to come apart on you, but you do this, it'll work. Now, I talked about paints originally, but I remembered I have some red duct tape, so I'm going to try that instead. And I actually also have somewhere around here some white athletic tape. Because as you can see, orange outside, white inside, and then 2 eyes. But, whenever I do that stuff, I'm going to bring out my paints just to show you what colors I used. So in case you do decide to go the paint route, you know that. So again, give me another minute to pause, and I'll show you really quick how to do the top. Okay, so on to the next part, attaching the head of the fire flower. Now, originally, I painted it. You know, it looks decent enough. Unfortunately, the bottom is kind of in my opinion, because I didn't do a second coat, but, you know, the colors I used, cadmium orange hue, basics, Liquitex. You know, again, I don't have a preference in paints, it's just, I've used it before for other projects, it's worked well enough, I'm going to keep using it. You know, I'm a creature of habit, so sue me. And titanium white. You know, basics, acrylics, yada yada yada. And then for the eyes themselves, just a Sharpie. Because, yeah, Sharpie. Sorry, my belt is digging into me. Sharpie is convenient for this. So anyway, if you go the tape route, like I'm doing, I've got a roll of white athletic tape. It can honestly work if you have, you know, other white tape, like duct tape, but I don't. I'm just going with what I have currently. As well as some bright red, you know, duct tape. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tear off the white tape, you know, get across, like do the whole thing white tape. For the first time, because, you know, white is like a background color. Well, white is part of it, so it doesn't matter if, oh no, I cover it slightly with some red, because that's the main part of the flower. So, you know, white totally across. I'm just going to pause, you know, get all the white on, then I'll show you whenever I'm doing red. Alright guys, so, you know, I've got some white tape, basically just around the center face part, because as you can see, you know, it's not all white or all red or whatever. You know, white's in the center. That's the main thing. So I just did 3 strips across, and then I'm going to do the outer edges with my red tape. So, you know, like before, just rip off a strip. Okay, if I can do it without messing it up, there we go. And then curl it up and over the top. You know, making a nice little seal. Now, the advantage to this method is that everything's going to be a bit more exact. However, you know, there's like a tear, you might not be able to see it in the tape there. But, you know, also, you might not have the exact right color. So, I mean, on the question of do you tape or do you paint, I mean, honestly, to me, that's just a matter of preference. Me, like I said, I'm trying this out, and then I'm going to show the two side by side, give my personal 2 cents on, oh hey, which way should you go on making this stuff. You know, if you like the other way, hey, go with it. If you don't, you know, and you like this way, you know, that's fine. Maybe you want to combine the two ideas. You know, that's cool also. And honestly, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the strengths of each and give you my opinions on, like, oh hey, in my opinion, this worked from Fire Flower 1. You know, so use this in combination with these elements from Fire Flower 2. You know, so that's all I've got to say for right now. So I'm just going to stop again, you know, get the rest of it covered up, and then I'll do the white center part. Alright, guys, here is the, you know, everything's taped up on top. Now really quick, I'm just going to take Sharpie and just do 2 lines for eyes really quick. Now I will say, you know, like I mentioned earlier, there have been other versions of the Fire Flower, and I'll put a picture, you know, just so you have reference, so in case you don't want to do this version of the Fire Flower, but maybe another version, because, you know, maybe you're going for, like, trying to be as accurate as possible with your cosplay. You know, maybe you're doing 8-bit Mario, you know, and they have the different Fire Flower, as opposed to this version of the Fire Flower. And honestly, that is about it with this Fire Flower. Now, doing the side-by-side comparison, let me see. What do I like about Fire Flower 1? I gotta give points for the painting. You know, the orange color, you know, looks a bit more accurate than red, but honestly not so much that you need to do paint specifically. The cardboard, you know, stem piece or whatever is a bit more noticeable and large than this, but I mean, again, but with this, really, you could just do more pipe cleaners or something like that, so not as big a difference. Unfortunately, as you'll notice, my stem is a bit bent up, but that's because I bent it so that I could slip it through, you know, the suspenders of Luigi. You know, if you see my amateur cosplay video of Luigi, you know, you can see that. So, the stem looks a bit more rough, because I've used this before. Now, what do I like about Fire Flower number 2? I like the brighter green color, you know, like everything here is dark green, not as attractive to look at personally. You know, so bright green tape all up and down. It's definitely brighter and more eye-catching. You know, unfortunately with Luigi, if you're doing Luigi at least, you know, he wears a brighter colored green shirt. Generally, at least as far as I can tell in the video game, so it might not be as eye-catching. But, you know, bright green, it's a good attention grabber, so I'll give it that. The tape around the top, you know, looks very nice. Everything's pretty even. I mean, I kind of got lucky with my painting on the original, and like, it didn't really bleed over as much, but I mean, there are little spots like in the corner there where some white got on the orange and such. So, yeah. Unfortunately, though, you know, you can obviously tell this is taped, because I mean, you can see little tape marks on the end. You know, you could potentially go over that with paint or something, and it would work out a little bit better. Like, everything would look a bit smoother. But for just general making something, I'd say this is pretty good. Again, not as big a fan of like this. It kind of looks ugly to me, and I kind of regret making that decision in this video. But, you know, again, I'm trying, I'm learning, and I'm showing you guys some basic things. So, overall for Fire Flower, I'd say, you know, pipe cleaners, good way to go. You know, taping around the top, well, yeah, taping around the top, not a bad way to go. Potentially I'd say take the, you know, cardboard stem from version 1 and apply it to this, because that is just, I don't know, I'm not liking it personally. But that is about it. For those of you who are near me locally, you know, I'm kind of doing commissions. So like, I'll do basic things, and if you want to buy them for a very cheap price, you know, I can make them for you. My rule of thumb is, though, you know, I like to do the exchange in person, let you see it, hold it, mess with it, make sure you like it before I say, oh hey, you know, I'll sell it to you for like this. I'd probably sell $3, maybe $4 tops. To me, it's not like master work, but it's definitely a bit of work to do one of these. Like, this took me probably under a half hour easily to do with all the taping. With painting and such, this took a bit longer, probably closer, like without letting in drying times, probably 45 to 50 minutes. But yeah, so I'm also doing that. I've done a couple of swords, you know, I can do the Dragon Balls, and basically any other video that's in this series, you know, I can potentially do for you. You know, again, the prices will vary a bit depending on the size and the paint and such for the projects, but, you know, if you don't want to make things and you're near me locally, you know, I might expand this to where I can actually ship things, but right now it's just local stuff. So yeah, sorry for that little commercial. But anyway, that's the Fire Flower. You know, a nice easy little project in case you want to do Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toadstool, Rosaline, or, you know, any of the Mario characters. You know, this is a nice little accessory to have with that. Let's see, any closing thoughts, opinions, ideas? I don't really have much personally. You know, if you guys have thoughts, opinions, whatever, you know, feel free to comment below or hit me up, you know, on my Facebook group, or whatever. Anyway, guys, you know, I will leave you to it, and I will see you on the next video. Anyway, guys, have fun, be safe, and get crafty. Brad out.